Hey guys, this is going to be another quick Linux command video. Check the link in the description for more info and for copy and paste examples. The Linux more command will allow you to display and page through a file. It's basically, there's actually another command called less that's recommended. It's a whole lot better and more improved that you really should use. It's on most any modern Linux or Unix system. There might be a few ancient Unix systems that still only have the more command because they're very traditional. So it's worth being familiar with. And it's a historical thing, and a lot of people still use the more command, so it's worth just understanding it just in case you see it in an example or something. But normally you should just use the less command. I did another video on that too, so go check that one out too. But in this command, we're using the more. We're going to review the more command. So in any case, we're going to start by checking out a file, right? And you can also pipe information into more, so we'll try to show you that too. So we're going to look at varlog dpackage.log. So run more on that, and you can page through it. Like if you hit enter, you're gonna move through line at a time. If you hit space, you're gonna move like page at a time, right? Now you can also use arrow keys to page through it, up and down arrow keys, and there are a few others. If check the link in the description for the commands. Mostly, I'm using commands within this tool rather than relying on parameters or switches to the command. But in any case, there are others, like you can do D to scroll down, S to skip forward, F to skip forward, and B to skip backwards. But only you can't do that if you're taking piped input. You can only do that if you're looking at a file. You can only go backwards if you're looking at a file. So B to go backwards, right? So what else? You can do Q to quit, and when you're inside the command, you can do H for help. It'll give you help about what options you have. See, like S to skip forward, F to skip forward K lines. So there are those, but yeah, you can also obviously use space or return, which are a little bit easier. So in any case, you can what else? You can show your current line number using equals. It'll tell you, all right, I'm on line 23. So page down a little bit more, equals, I'm on line 89. So that's kind of useful. And you can search for things like error. Sorry, so not seeing any errors. You can search for status, and it'll bring you, there's a lot of lines with the word status, so that's not too helpful, but that's how you would search for things. All right, so one other thing I wanted to show you, kind of went way there for a second, but let's say if you want to take output ps-ef, and you have a lot of output from this. So let's say if you want to scroll through it, you can use more for that. So pipe it to more, and then you can just page through this, at your leisure. So that's another use for it. That's using piped input from stdin, and you can also just access a file like that. So in any case, there are a few options that may or may not be useful. You can use -n5, and this will scroll 5 lines at the time when paging. So every time you page, it'll just do 5 lines. And oops. So this way you're going to only scroll 5 lines at a time instead of the the whole page. And you can shorten that by just saying -5, right? And you could set that value to whatever you want. Scroll through a file a whole lot faster if you don't care about seeing it, if you want to set it to 100. So you can clear the screen every time and don't scroll. Not sure how useful this is, or if this has any practical application. It basically looks like the same thing, right? So what else? You can scroll. You can combine that with -n5. Yeah, and this is where it actually has a use, right? So if you have you specify only 5 lines at a time. Every time you page through, it'll go jump 5 lines at a time. Now, if you tell it to, if you use a -p to clear the screen every time instead of scrolling, every time you display your next page, only 5 lines at a time, it's just going to clear the screen and display it right there, starting from the top. So that's actually kind of useful potentially. And what else? You can start at a line number too. So I think that's basically, all right, so that's different from how we specified a -5 previously. Well, you could also use a +5 to start at line number 5. Or maybe if you're skipping a header in a file, you might want to start at line number 2. Something like that. But in any case, that's another thing you can do. And yeah, I already showed you using a pipe. So what else? You can suppress sounds. You can use a -D to suppress sounds, like if you hit an invalid character or go past the end or whatever else. And that's about all the useful stuff that you would want to do with more command. Remember, check the links in the description for more info. Hit the subscribe button for more useful content like this. We also have a ton of other more interesting content covering things like coding, hardware, software, servers, Raspberry Pis, 3D printing, and a whole lot more. Hopefully you found this useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on that next video.